Number 5. The Great Train Robbery was the name given to the £2.3 million train heist committed on August 8, 1963 in Buckinghamshire, England. The Royal Mail's Glasgow to London post office train was stopped. A 15-member gang, led by a guy named Bruce Reynolds, stole the money, which today would be worth about £50 million, or close to $100 million US. Although the robbers didn't use guns, the train's driver, Jack Mills, was whacked on the head with an iron bar. His assailant was one of the members of the gang who were never identified or arrested. 13 of them were caught when police discovered fingerprints at their hideout. They were tried, sentenced, and imprisoned. Number 4. The Securitas Depot robbery took place on February 22, 2006, between 1 and 2:15 a.m. It was the largest cash amount stolen in British history. At least 6 men abducted and threatened the family of the manager, tied up 14 staff members, and stole over £53 million, which is worth about $92.5 million US, or 78 million euros. The manager of the depot, Colin Dixon, was abducted at about 6:30 the night before while driving to his home. He was pulled over by what he thought was an unmarked police car. A man approached him in highly visible clothing and a police-style hat. He was then asked to get into the police imposter's car, handcuffed, and driven to a farm in an unknown location. As this was taking place, his wife and 8-year-old son were being kidnapped too and driven to the same farm. The manager was told that if he didn't cooperate, his family would be in danger. Held at gunpoint, the whole family was taken to the Securitas Depot at about 1 a.m. There, 14 staff members were being held by robbers. The heist ended about 2:15 a.m., although it was still another hour before staff members were able to sound an alarm. Police on the scene found everyone bound but physically unharmed. Number 3. On July 12, 1987, 2 men went into the Knightsbridge Safe Deposit Center in the Westminster quarters of London, England, and said they wanted to rent a safe deposit box. After being shown into the vault, they produced handguns and subdued the manager and security guards. Then the thieves hung a sign on the door announcing the place was temporarily closed and telling more accomplices the coast was clear. Together, they broke open dozens of the safe deposit boxes and left with a haul estimated to be worth £40 million back in the day. That would be about $150 million US at today's rates. 1 hour after the robbers left, one of the guards got out of his handcuffs and sounded the alarm. Police forensic investigators found a fingerprint that was traced to Italian Valerio Vise. Authorities put Vise and several of his accomplices under surveillance and eventually found enough evidence to arrest them exactly a month after the Knightsbridge robbery. Vise later published a book about the robbery. Number 2. On March 18, 1990, a few hours after the St. Patrick's Day festivities wrapped up in Boston, Massachusetts, 2 men dressed as police officers knocked on the security entrance side door of the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum at 1:24 in the morning. Although the current head of security of the museum says the policy has always been to open that door to no one in the middle of the night, not even God, the guards let the imposters in and were quickly overpowered, handcuffed, and duct taped in the basement. In less than an hour and a half, the robbers stole 3 Rembrandts that they savagely cut out of their frames: the Concert by Vermeer, a Chinese bronze beaker, an oil painting by Govart Flinck from the wall, and a bronze eagle statue. They also picked up a priceless Monet portrait in the museum's Blue Room on the first floor. What is really incredible is that the museum wasn't able to collect any insurance money because, at the time, it didn't carry an insurance policy. By the way, those frames the Rembrandts were ripped out of, they are still hanging empty in the museum. Number 1. In March 2003, in the days before the United States started bombing Baghdad, nearly $1 billion were stolen from the Central Bank of Iraq. Considering the amount, this is considered the largest bank heist in history. The U.S. troops later found $650 million in the walls of Saddam Hussein's palace. This is believed to be part of the stolen money. The rest has still not been found. It is believed, though, that Saddam himself was behind the heist since a note he hand-wrote was found later, ordering that $920 million be withdrawn and given to his son Qusay. Bank officials say that Qusay and another unidentified man oversaw the transfer of the money, boxes of $100 bills, being loaded into trucks during an operation that is said to have taken 5 hours. The good son was later killed by U.S. troops in an exchange of gunfire.